What is going on, my beautiful, lovely, powerful creators? Welcome back to another video. Great topic today. We are going to be talking about manifesting and anxiety, diagnosed anxiety, or just manifesting and becoming anxious, having anxiety-induced states because of what you're manifesting. But yeah, I just wanted to do one video that kind of encompasses anxiety and manifestation as a whole. So I think it can be a very common thing that a lot of people experience. Anxiety is normal. It's a normal thing to feel. It is normal to even have mental breakdowns, especially when you have realized that you are a conscious creator and you have realized that you're in control of your life and you're trying really hard at first to make everything in your life perfect, trying to get these desires because you know now that you're in charge and you're in control and you can get them. So sometimes when things aren't really lining up, it's easy to spiral. You need to realize that any kind of negative thoughts that you have at all, you need to let them in, you need to feel them. And you need to then say, fuck the 3D, fuck the circumstances, and let them go. It is important to feel how you need to feel. You are still a human being. You still have human emotions. And if you don't feel what you need to feel, you're going to keep pushing it farther down. And that's what can cause anxiety. That is what can cause you to have a mental breakdown over the whole thing. You're afraid that if you focus too much on things that your 3D is showing you that is unwanted, you're afraid that if you think about it, it's going to manifest. And that's not the case. Feel what you need to feel and then let it go. Don't dwell on it. That's the only difference. But it's very real if you're affirming for something and you're expecting that if you're affirming for something, it's going to show up. So then not seeing movement at all or seeing the exact opposite because you're checking, that can make you feel anxious. And honestly, that's why a lot of the times when people do subliminals, they feel anxiety after listening to a subliminal because it's like your mind is trying to convince you of something, but you're singing the opposite out there. So it's almost like you feel like you're lying to yourself or you don't believe yourself. And I just want to let you know that that is completely normal. It is very, very normal. In fact, like when you start affirming for something, when you want to change a belief and you want to get your desire and you start affirming for it, 99% of the time, you are not going to believe your affirmations. You're not going to feel it real. You're not going to be living in the end. When you first start doing something for a new desire, you're not going to feel like you have it, or else you wouldn't be affirming for it in the first place. It is with repetition and continuing and persistence, once it becomes a hardened fact, is when you actually believe it. So don't put too much pressure on yourself into making yourself believe something and affirming for something and not being able to feel that it's real. Because a lot of the time you won't, and that's fine. You don't have to believe your affirmations when you start saying them for them to manifest. You just have to believe that whatever you affirm will manifest. You just have to believe in the power of the affirmations and the power of your manifestation abilities to get you there. You don't have to believe a word you're fucking saying. That's why it is important to say and believe, fuck the 3D. Don't listen to anything the 3D is showing you. Don't look the other direction when you see something you don't want to see. Feel your emotions. Do not react. But you can feel it in the moment. Feel your human being emotions. And then force yourself to dwell on the opposite of that. Affirm for the opposite of what you're seeing. That is how you can kind of stop anxiety from forming before it even does. Okay, let's talk for a second about triggers. Triggers are very real for everyone. They are very real, especially for people with anxiety disorders, panic disorders, depression, just really any thing that you haven't really worked through. Triggers actually put you in the most powerful version of yourself. You are in the most powerful moment when you are triggered. And I know it may feel like the opposite. You may feel weak and out of control. However, you are acknowledging that you're being triggered, and you are deciding how you're going to react to this trigger, if it's going to let you spiral down or if you're going to persevere and push through it. You are in the most powerful moment, because that means you are in your new state. You are being your new self, and you are sitting there choosing to stay as your new self and let your old self and your old beliefs drift on by. Triggers are reminding you who you are choosing to be. They're reminding you that you have grown. You can switch states thousands, hundreds of thousands of times a day. So when you're triggered, you can be pushed back into the old state. Then you return back to the new state, and you notice you were triggered, but then you pulled back into the old state over and over and over again. But this is where you get the choice to step into the power of being your new self. You are in the new state, getting triggers from the old state. So that should show you in itself that you are dwelling now in the new state, and that is exactly where you want to be. You don't have to listen to that trigger anymore because you don't align with it. You don't have to listen to your intrusive thoughts because you don't align with them. If a thought comes into your mind and you don't like it, tell that thought to go fuck itself. Just because you have a thought pop in does not mean that that is the reality that you're going to be experiencing. Manifesting with Kimberly, she taught me something very important, and that is thoughts are just vehicles into different realities. So you can get in that car and you can go to that reality that you don't want to be in by following that thought and dwelling on that thought. Or you can let that thought pass you by and you can get in a different vehicle and go to the reality that you want to be in. Thoughts are just vehicles to different realities. You do not have to get in that car and go. Let's do an exercise together real quick. Okay. Take your hand, just like this. Make a fist and keep it closed. Do it. I want you to think about opening your hand. Think about opening your hand. And no matter what I say to you, do not open your hand, okay? No matter what I say, don't open it. Open your hand. Open your hand. Open your hand. Why are you not opening your hand? Open your hand. Bro, just open your hand. Dude, just open your freaking hand. I swear. Open it. Open it. Did you open it? You better have said no. All right, now you're going to do the same thing. And you're going to want to open your hand. And then you're going to actually open your hand. On the count of 3. I'm not trying to trick you. Actually, just do it. I know, I wouldn't trust me either. All right. 1, 2, 3. Do you see how you just had a thought come in, an annoying ass thought that kept persisting and kept coming in, fucking forcing itself onto you, and you still didn't choose to align with the thought of opening your hand? But the moment that you actually decided to open your hand, you opened your hand. Those are your annoying ass thoughts. Those are your intrusive thoughts coming in and trying to tell you the opposite of your manifestation. And we are just going to let them pass on by, pass on through. I don't care how annoying they are. I don't care how persistent they are. We're not dwelling in them. We're not choosing them. We choose to do what we say we want to do. We choose what we want to do. We think it and we decide and we choose it. And if we don't want it, we don't have to do it. Let those annoying little thoughts flutter on by and right back out. Okay, next. All right, so I've got a couple of techniques that you can do whenever you're getting anxiety and you just cannot seem to get a grasp on it throughout your manifestation journey. So the first thing that you can do is EFT tapping. It's emotional frequency tapping. If saying something that you don't align with is giving you anxiety by saying it, you can tap in your affirmations and it will kind of help go around that. It'll tap it into your emotional frequency and help you to believe it. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on either one, tapping in the affirmations that you have a little bit of resistance to, or that you know you want them, but for some reason they're making you feel anxiety. Maybe it's something to do with like manifesting a lot of money or manifesting a specific person. So I'm going to run through an example with you, because you can also use it to do some kind of affirmation that calms you down, self-concept. So the EFT points that we're going to focus on is going to be here, 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 collarbone, armpit, top of the head, karate chop. Then you do the other side, and then you're going to grab your wrist, because grabbing your wrist creates a feeling, a sense of trust. I release and let this go. 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 It is safe for me to release and let this go. You would do that as many times as it takes for you to actually feel like you've let it go and make you feel better. And you can do that for any subject, self-concept, SP, money, anything that you want to manifest. You can tap those in anytime you're feeling anxiety about it. Lastly, you can 100% manifest away your anxiety just by switching states or by revising. And I'm saying 100% because I've literally done this. People are manifesting away health conditions all the time, mental health. People have revised having the C word and have gotten rid of it. You have so much power that just by switching into a state, you can literally become a different person. I got rid of the majority of my anxiety by being fed up and deciding that I didn't want to be that person, so I'm not that person anymore. And whenever I would have like little thoughts come in, I literally distanced myself from it, and I'm like, it's shut off. And I'm like, I am not that person. I'm not aligning with being that person, and I'm not going to sink into this. And it took a lot. I'm not saying it was easy, and I'm not like invalidating anyone's struggles. And I know that it can be a lot easier for some people than it can be for others. But I'm just saying it was a fucking struggle. But eventually something in me snapped and I canceled it. You can also do this by revising with affirmations, using absolutes in your affirmations that state, I've always been mentally healthy. I've never had anxiety. I've never had depression. Everything has always been easy for me. Nothing is a struggle. Nothing has ever been a struggle. Those kind of affirmations can kind of help you get into that state of changing that and having a different past relationship with any health issue that's been holding you back. All right, so that is how you can kind of help navigate yourself through anxiety while you're manifesting. I hope this was helpful, and I intend that this helps somebody. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I know it was a lot of information, but if you have any questions, my email is down below. Send me an email and we can kind of help figure your shit out. Leave a comment, of course, and I'll do my best to answer it. Any video requests, leave them down below as well. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.